Oh, I'm sorry. All right, WVSR 1360 AM. I'm Van Stone, your host, the face behind the voice, with the team here. We're on Philly Hott Radio as well, phillyfunkradio.com as well. So we are simultaneously doing this with three radio stations that, representing three different stations and studios and locations here in Philadelphia. Of course, we are in West Philadelphia, and we want to welcome everyone to the show this week. Bringing in my team, of course, starting with Antoinette is here.
Hi, guys.
And, of course, David Anthony. I finally got used to saying it right.
Hello, everyone.
All right, we have Jerry Wilson here on the board.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. And, of course, we have three other members of our team are here. We have Art Shaw. Art, you there?
Welcome, Art.
Hey, Art.
Okay, he should be here saying something. We have Warren Bloom is in as well. Warren, you here? Okay, and we are also waiting for Janet House. Janet, are you here?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, we got
Hi,
Janet, so
welcome, Janet.
I guess the rest of them, I don't know.
Hi.
They're here or they'll pop back in. All right. So we're going to start the show. This is a special edition of Talk Live with Van Stone. And right now, we're going to give you the updates of what we're all dealing with, the coronavirus. We have a lot of information. This basically is for black Philadelphians. Of course, the other race, you can listen in as well and help support our cause.
Other race?
Yes, sir. That's what it is. Oh, that's Art. What's up, Art? Welcome to the show.
All right.
All right.
That's
So
everybody.
Okay. So what we do as black media, we don't hold back here. We have to say what it is, especially right now. We are in an emergency in America. And, the situation is really bleak. We're in dire straits. Black Americans all across every state has been affected by this. So we're not having any callers in. But if you have questions for our Facebook fans, if you're listening or viewing live, you may send questions via Facebook, and we will answer that question as well. But I want to really, to emphasize what this is about and why it's about black Philadelphia right now, because we're in Philadelphia. And, we're not eliminating the other race, but it is. As I said, basically I speak my view. This is mainly my opinion, that there are only two races. And interestingly, there's really no argument on that, because I don't know if you guys have gotten your census yet, but we're going to talk about that as well. I got my census, and I was really mad. So, and I'll just remind everybody, I'm running for state rep, but this is not what this is about. I really don't care about it at this time. They're canceling the primaries and all kind of stuff anyway. Everything is being shut down. But, if I was a state rep, I guess they would consider me talking reckless, and I really don't care. Because basically, this is about, from the top, classism. Terrible, terrible classism. So if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican,
a lot of fishy stuff's going on.
It's just terrible. As far as concern about the people and the interest of the people is just not there. So let me give you an update where we are. There is some good news, though. Okay, so we're going to give you the latest on this. Right now, they are working on a package. This is the second package that Congress is working on, okay? They need to come up with about $6 trillion. $6 trillion to take care of Americans. But now what I'm about to say to you is it should make you mad too. Who are actually Americans? Right now they're fighting, they're bickering back and forth about this $6 trillion, and they're trying to only give out $1 trillion. So that means that if it's $1,200 one time, what is that going to do for anybody? And here's the main target when I say classism. They're only interested in working Americans. Working Americans. So I thought that all of us was Americans, but according to them, everybody, I guess, is not an American. So right now, this is the second package that they're working on. The first one basically was about family first. That's also fraudulent too. Because which families are you talking about? You're not talking about us, black Americans. So they've got to be talking about the other family first. So I just wanted you to have the update that hopefully this will go through, and because we as black Americans are in there somewhere, some of us are going to be okay, but most of us are not. And this is going to last for 6 months for sure. That's what they're planning for. So if you heard the word is 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, forget it. So come on, anybody, let's go.
I feel as though that with this virus that's taking place here, I still don't think that a lot of our youth is taking this very seriously as far as social distancing.
Yeah.
Like, I really think that they really think that they are exempt from this virus. And most importantly, I believe like even their relatives, if they're out and about, you have to let them know that this is a serious matter. Like, we're getting interrupted every single day with, broadcasts from the president, from government officials. Like, this is seriously, and this is a serious matter, I should say. And we should really take it accordingly. No, we don't panic, but we have to take the precautions to keep ourselves safe. Because each day that I turn the news on, it's always more cases. So this is, to me, it's not getting better, it's getting worse.
Well, I think
Oh,
our
it's
kids.
spreading. It's just
Oh, you go. You go ahead.
it's spreading, but it's Philadelphia. The coronavirus is all over the place. They've tried to call it the novel corona, but there are different variations of it. And also the different variations, SARS, MRSA. Then you have Corona, COVID, different ones, and they're all over. They're all over, and it's just about. There's one now that seems to have. They said something about it being a virus coming from a combination of a snake and a bat.
Wow.
This is what I heard, and the only way I could see that is coming from, far eastern countries, where they would eat different animals that weren't certified by the FDA or anything, from rats to bats to, but from wherever it came from, they have to. There's different kinds of things going on. The conspiracies about, killing off the population, downsizing our population. I mean, in essence, that's what it's doing.
Right. And how do you feel like in reference to what's going on with the supermarket? Like, it's ridiculous what is going on with the supermarket as far as in reference to supplies. The toilet paper, I don't get it. Like, why? I do not get it. That's ridiculous. I understand the food supply, but toilet paper, I mean, the virus is not in our toilets. I don't get it. Like, it's really kind of like you got elderly people, and I'm actually seeing this by being in the communities myself. You got elderly people, and not just elderly people, but other people that actually need these supplies, and they're not available. And then they keep the representatives inside of the stores, the cashiers or the stock person. You cannot even keep up with it. It's really crazy what's going on right now.
Do you think everybody's thought about, well, let's think about the oldest, let's think about our eldest, before, everybody just stocked up? I don't think they thought about anything like that. I think panic came into play. and people thought about their own, and then
I understand what you're
families, I guess.
saying, but what I'm saying, we have to be kind to one another. Like, I understand you have to look out for your family. I get that part. But to take 50 to 30 items of the same product and no one else can get the products that they might need, just one.
Yeah.
I actually seen where a person was actually getting ready to fight over toilet paper in the
Yeah,
supermarket.
but that's the raw nature of man. That's the raw nature of man. The survival.
I understand.
Survival.
I get that, but you still have to be kind to one another during this trying time. We are actually, I never thought I would live to see, and I'm a young person. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm a young
I'm not trying to
adult,
argue that point.
and I never
I'm not
thought
trying
I would
argue
live
that
to
point.
see
I think you're
something
right.
like this. You know
Like
what I
that.
mean?
Mhm.
I'm
Well,
just saying during this time we have to still be kind to one another and actually let other people get products as well. Like, it would be crazy if I'm in line and I see there's a bunch of toilet paper available. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to take at least 20 different packages of that toilet paper. You got to think about the next person.
Let's get that quote in Northern. Let's get that quote in Northern. Get that.
Okay, I understand, and they're actually getting elderly people lined up, at least in the South Philadelphia shop, right? Like at exactly like 7 a.m. the stores are opening up to get your groceries. They also have in different counties where the elderly they're being put in line, but they're actually letting them go in first to get certain items that they need.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's a beautiful thing. We have
that's
to
what
look
you're
out
talking about.
for our elderly. We have to.
But in the big cities, it's a little different.
Right.
You know that.
Yes.
Bigger cities, the counties, a lot of people know each other, and they'll look after each other.
Right.
But
Right.
big
I
cities,
understand.
they're gonna go off.
Okay, so let me throw out the call letters again. WVSR 1360 AM. We are not taking any breaks, by the way. We're just going to go straight through, unless you just really want them to hear the music. I know, that's why I brought that in. So we're here with the round table here, the team, the Van Stone team. We have Janet House on the line. Warren Bloom, welcome to the show this afternoon on a Saturday.
Thank you so very much.
All right, 2:16 in the afternoon. We have Art. Hold on, Warren. We have Art Shaw here as well. We have Antoinette, of course, and to my right, David Anthony and Jerry Wilson. So we're just continuing the main topic of the coronavirus, Warren, since you just joined us in. And we're waiting for a few comments that's going to come from, hopefully, Janet. Anything you want to add? Because we haven't heard from you yet. Well, we got to come right on in because everybody now
Hi.
They in
Hi,
it.
Janet.
I want to say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Everybody.
Hello.
I would name you all, but it's a bunch of folk on here. I'm excited. I want to talk about what's going on and what Van presented, and I totally agree with what he said, and all of you. But I have an entirely different take, and my take is because I'm old.
Okay.
It's because I want you all to listen to me. No, I'm serious.
How old are you?
I'm 77.
No way, Jose.
I'm 77. So I want you all to listen to me.
Okay.
All right.
I lived during Jim Crow laws and total segregation. Even in North Philly, there were stores along, there were the markets along York Street. There was a Frankfurt market. There were shops that went up the street. And we were not allowed to go to those stores. So, I'm looking at what's going on right now as a good thing. I'm loving it. What I'm not loving is that we're not taking advantage of the situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're not taking advantage of them.
Yeah.
Those companies came along and ripped us to shreds, opening their companies. And we decided to leave our segregated homes where we would take care of each other very well. Very well. Very well. We didn't need them. We did fine. But as soon as DSEG happened, we jumped over to their side, started paying them for what we were already doing. Am I making sense?
No, you are making sense, and that's why I'm giving the updates of where we are right now. So what we are an inclusive generation right now. Generation, most of the people don't understand what that means. You say generation, and you will just go by the age of the person. But generation is the mindset of people who can fit into the same group of people who have the same views. People who are alike, similar. Okay? So when you have people like myself, was born in 1962, I am the baby dealing with Martin Luther King and so forth and so on, those leaders. And you have Janet, of course, older, and then you have others in this room who are different ages, or as you know, I guess on the line, just a little older. But all of us, because we think alike, we see things alike, we are this generation that Janet is talking about. Now, here's another point. Let me
We're supposed to be the baby boomers, aren't we?
Yes.
Well, see, but that's nonsense. See, this is what I'm not talking about. The classism. That's the problem. That's what's happening right now. What is happening is that we are in dire straits as black Americans. And you narrow it down to every city, every state. We are not even counted. That's what I wanted everyone to understand. So that's why I'm mad as hell about this whole situation. Because right now, they're talking about working people only. So what about seniors like Janet who work, okay, but seniors like Janet who don't work? So for every American right now, they're supposed to talk about everyone getting money.
Good point.
Every person, every American, and they're announcing it.
Well, I came under the assumption that if you pay taxes at any time of your life, and you were, I guess, recognized as still living, you would get that tax.
No. This is what's going on right now. If you pay attention, they are exposing who they really are. This virus is exposing everything, and this is an opportunity for all of us to see how this country operates. America is the worst country in the world. Okay, this is Van Stone saying this. I really don't care who's saying it. I don't care if I win an election or not, because this has to be said, and this is the problem. Why is America really the worst? Right now, this situation we're up under, this is nothing new to people who live in the Philippines, Colombia. If you go over there, they have boxes. They're still dealing with boxes, and, you fill a box up with ice. Everyone doesn't have a bathroom. They're still using outhouses. Everyone doesn't have electricity, and if they do, they're borrowing it, or I don't want to say stealing it, but they're putting it together and they're borrowing neighbors.
Yes.
Okay? They have
Not
rural...
everyone has it in the United States either.
Okay, but that's not the point. The point is that what we're dealing with now is a normal way of life before this happened to us. This is an emergency now. This is the problem. Sometimes we speak too fast and we're not really thinking about what's really happening here. What I'm trying to tell you, I'm not a world traveler. I'm not into traveling. I just had a conversation with Jerry about traveling. But, I am so glad that was my mentality, because if you travel to the other locations, you'll see the way they live. This is what they're used to. They have rural roads. They have dirt roads. They have bicycles. They barely have cars, okay? Over here, all the money that we have in America, this is what they're going to do with this plan because of this virus. They're going to dump out money free to to all the major companies, Target and everybody else, and even higher. Now, let me also get this fact out, and then I'm going to let everybody jump back in, because this is something our viewers and we need to notice before you keep making up your decision about how you're supposed to view this. Okay, so what is a business? A business is a corporation that has 500 people. Okay, to them it's a business. A business, if you have 50 people or less, it's not a business. That's nonsense. So it's classism. So what they're going to do is all the corporations who have people, 500 workers and more, they're going to give them free money. This is what they did last time. When Obama was in, he did the bailout. All these people got all this money. They kept the money, and none of the workers got anything. Okay?
Right.
So we, as black people, we have businesses. And then I'm gonna let y'all jump in, because like I said, I got a lot to bring information. But the word is, which is a lie and a stereotype, is that black people don't have businesses in our neighborhoods. That's a lie. We have two key businesses. We have daycare. You go in every corner, there's a daycare, and that is a business.
Yes.
Okay? And they're not trying to give those businesses any money, because most daycares don't have 50 employees if you go into daycare.
Yes.
So this is design classism, and if they don't straighten this out, I'm just telling you right now, my view is going to be, we as black people, we should start a protest, take advantage of it, like Janet said, and the biggest protest that we have, we shouldn't vote at all. We shouldn't vote at all. Now, anybody listening and watching this, they're going to be, oh my God, what are you talking about? Those are the people
There you go.
who are part of the system, and I'm going to get into
There
that
you go.
in a second, but I'm giving you my personal view about how I feel based on what they're doing,
you
because we're
are.
not counted. What do you say, Art?
I said, yes, you are.
Okay, well, what's your view? Or anybody else? Y'all didn't have to freeze.
No, I'm waiting for Art's
Okay,
response.
well then I'll continue since nobody saying anything.
Whether or not you think it counts or not, whether or not I think it counts or not, I'll say I'm still putting in my vote.
Okay.
I'm still putting it in because I would say everybody put it in just because we have that right. Just because we fought for that right.
Okay. Well, let me come back.
We fought for that right.
Let me
So
come back.
We're gonna put our thing in like everybody else is supposed to have been putting their thing in, just like either the white man, the Chinese American, the African American. If they're gonna put it in, we definitely had to put ours in.
No. Let me.
Can I say something?
Yes. Go ahead.
This is what I want to say to you about the vote thing. We are always accepted when it's time to vote, because the numbers are needed for those who are going to win. However, where's the follow-through after the vote? Who's doing follow-up?
That's on us.
Follow-through.
That's on us.
Who's making sure that what we ask them to do, they're doing? Because we get comfortable, the vote is over, they go on and do what they're going to do, and we're nowhere doing nothing.
Right.
What are we doing?
Well, we dropped the ball.
No.
Angela Davis said yesterday, we need a third party. I never believed we should only have a Democrat. So what? It's for them. It's not for us.
For us, I believe that.
We haven't done anything with that freaking slave paper constitution that even our people brag about. That's a slave document.
Right. It is.
It's not a paper for us.
Right.
It was to control us.
Right. And let me.
Then they said they did an amendment where if you're born on, now you all listen to me, that if you're born on the land, you're a citizen. Then it continues by saying you're a citizen unless you're convicted of a crime. So if you can become a non-citizen and be re-enslaved because of a crime, that means you never were in the first place.
That's right.
Wow.
Exactly.
Good point.
And this is why.
Well, they're trying to pass. I guess there was a saying trying to pass a bill reinstating voters' rights for ex-offenders. I haven't heard anything else from it. I've heard it a few times, matter of fact, recently, and read about it, but I haven't heard anything else about that. Maybe that might come into play during the election, the actual election itself.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
As I understand it, if you have committed a felony, and especially if you've done your time, your voting privileges have been restored. And
that is absolutely correct, Warren. I want to actually make sure people are aware of that, because what they do a lot, especially the Republican candidates, what they'll do a lot is that they'll try to put in the neighborhoods a false myth that some states you are still not allowed to vote if you have been convicted of felony. So here in Pennsylvania, I want to make this completely clear to anyone listening. Anyone in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania who has been convicted of a felony can vote just as long as they're not incarcerated at the time of vote. You can vote if you are on parole, probation, or if you're on a community, what is it called? Community corrections, where you're in a community, you can still vote. Just as long as you're not housed in a correctional penitentiary, you can vote.
All right, let me go back to the science of this, because me and Art is going back and forth, and that's good.
Yeah.
Because that way, when I invite everybody on our team, speak your own opinion. That's why this is real. Sometimes some opinions, though, are based on lack of information. So I'm just going to give you the information, and then you decide whether you want to continue to think, regardless, we should vote regardless. Like I said, I knew that would get attention. Don't vote. I said, I'm making this clear. If they do not do this right, then we should come together as a people, take advantage of this virus right now, and protest by saying, don't no one vote. That's what I'm saying. And here's why. Because right now, every American should be all of us. And what they're saying, making this very clear from the beginning or the outset, that only working people are Americans. So I lost my job 2 years ago. I couldn't find a job. So I'm no longer American. This falls right back with what Janice said. It's the same game. It's the same scheme. It's the same original concept of how the people, the other race, have always set this up. Now, so therefore, hold up, Bart. I gave you the floor. Hold up. What I'm trying to say to you.
I have a question for you.
Okay, what's your question? Go ahead.
The question, I just forgot the question.
No, what's the question?
Man. When it comes up, what'll happen when
we don't vote?
They say. What'd you say?
When we don't vote, that's your question. What's going to happen when we don't vote?
Well, no. You were tapping on the subject, and I actually had the question, and I know it was a good question, but it just jumped out of my head.
All right.
So, but go ahead.
Well, let me continue, because I know I'm touching a nerve of people right now. First of all, across the board, many black people, so-called Democrats, okay? And by the way, I'm running as a Democrat. I wasn't a Democrat. I was an independent. When I registered as an independent, I thought independent mean that, I stand alone. But I'm American. I can still have my own view. But that's not what all this stuff is about. That's why it was said we need a new party. Because the people who really study this and really know what's really happening, we're just coming abreast of this because we're so busy with our children, our families, old or young. We don't have the time to really study this way. We thought, taking their word for what they're saying, that we're Americans. But they're lying to us the whole time. So now when someone says it's time for a new party, the only thing they're doing is just letting you know, hey, you missed something. Mm-hmm. For an example, so if you're a Democrat A Democrat is based on your view. It's the party only represents people who agree like you. If you understand politics, that's not what parties are supposed to be about. But this is what it works like. So Republicans, people that agree with them. But the voter, the power is in the hands of the voter. And if you are a voter, here's who you are. You are a judge. You, the voter, are a judge. And you put in who should be managing this country. Because you're too busy as a voter, right? You don't have the time to deal with Russia or this and that, somebody trying to invade. So what you do is you vote someone in. It's up to me to manage so that I can be good. And then when we have a crisis like this here, you expect first and foremost to take care of me.
Exactly.
But what they're doing is, I'm not going to say they're crooked. I'm not going to say any of those things, because every time you go racism, whatever it is, you're going to run into the roadblock, the wall, and then people are not going to get it anyway. If you say don't vote, then you get people's attention, and then here you come, majority African Americans, who come back and say, no, vote anyway, such. And it's like, look, you don't have anything anyway. So what are you talking about? And this is my last point, then I'm going to let anybody else join in. Mm-hmm. That's why, when it comes to voting, since you are really the judge, you are appointing these people by their, you vote for them to manage. This is one of the reasons why some people don't vote. And then you get mad at them. You attack them. Oh, you don't have nothing to say. I listen to so many commentators who say that if you haven't voted, then you don't have no say so. You're out of your mind. And you're only saying that because you're only copycatting from the person who's setting us up to destroy us in the first place. That's all you're doing. You just think you will just vote anyway. Just vote. It's better. And that's not true. So you have several groups who don't vote. They don't do it. It's not for the right reason, but to them it's the right reason, but they don't vote. Jehovah's Witnesses don't vote. Mm-hmm. You have other groups who don't vote. Okay? And now, if they would think about it and not vote for the right reason, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. This is our power time right now. They're saying the black vote is everything.
Yes.
And I'm going to say that, I know I keep saying a little bit, but all right, I'm just going to say it. Listen. This is 2020. This is where we're living at right now. You know what time we're really living at right now? The late 1850s. Right now, this is the Civil War time right now. Mm-hmm. And just so people who are racist or prejudiced or always want to blame the white man, you got to understand, no, that's not true. In the late 1850s, you had a guy named John Brown, who was a white guy. He lost his life to fight for the lives of black people. So you have a whole lot of John Browns today in 2020. If you look at the news, you got a whole bunch of white people, they fight like I don't know what.
Yeah.
They fight like I don't know what about what's happening. And the crazy thing is that you have more of them fighting for our rights as black people, and then we got these black people who are like, yo, keep it as it is.
Yeah.
But
There you
anyway.
go.
So go ahead, y'all. I mean, I just wanted to get that point out. If not, I can keep going.
You know what I want to say this? I want to say that we are still, as long as I've lived in the stuff that I experienced on those highways with the Klan out there, I mean, I had direct experience with them.
Wow.
We still are looking for acceptance from them.
Wow.
We still are. As a people. This is outrageous. We don't have to accept anything, because whatever they're doing, be they good or not, it's still to keep us calm.
Wow.
It's still to keep us from coming at them and from taking our land back. That's all it's about. Because if it wasn't about the land, they'd have kicked us out. If it was about Africa and it wasn't about the land, they'd have shipped us out of here a long time ago. They can't, because we're on our land.
That's right.
So Janet,
We're on our land right here.
So Janet, how do you feel about the upcoming election that's going to take place, as far as for presidency? What do you feel about that?
Good
I
correct.
don't think it matters for us.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. So what? They have the power of the documents. We don't.
Yes.
They can do whatever they want to do. And don't forget, even when Obama was president, he would say, if you want me to do thus and so, if there are things you want me to do, it's got to come through the train. And the train is local, state, community,
Right,
statewide, tri-state, and then it gets to Washington. Well, the locals didn't do nothing. They ain't do nothing. They jumped on him to do it.
They voted.
We didn't handle our business here. He couldn't do what he couldn't do because he's working under a slave document too.
Got it.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right. And let me come back on with.
But we dropped the ball because we fell asleep. After we voted, we said, "Oh, we got a black president in here," and then after that, we thought everything was going to be hunky dory, but we did not follow through.
Okay, but
And
Follow through what?
when the Republicans took the Senate, it was over because that hierarchy and this doctrine
There you go.
of politics, the Senate has like it has to be a last call. The Senate has that.
Yes.
And you know who runs the Senate? The
Yes.
Ku Klux Klan.
Yes.
okay, but let me jump in here again, because I hear you, but the statement "we" is a half correct, half incorrect statement. It's what's called a hodgepodge. It's half correct and it's half incorrect. Hodgepodge. How do you have "we" when I said to you and all listeners and viewers when I started the show? By the way, WVSR 1360. We're running that off PhillyFunkRadio.com. You can listen live. FPN. WVSR.org. You can listen live, and we're here weekdays and weekends. My point is that if you look at your census, you will discover that you will no longer say "we." Here's why. Mm-hmm. This is what you have on the census.
I have my form right here.
Well, do you see the list of how they group everyone? So if you go online, it's real shocking because it's easy when you go online. Then you're just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. So black, you have your option. Check who you are.
Right.
Here's the groups who are listed black. Oh man, people from Africa, Haitian, Jamaican, etc. I'm not on there. I'm American Indian. Not on there.
That's right.
So already the government has decided who you are, and then they will separate so that you repeat who black people are. Now, the next group, American
There you
Indian.
go.
American Indian.
There you go.
Okay, so I looked at that. Now, they have some tribes. They had Blackfoot.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, but where's my tribe? I'm not on there. So I was really mad. My tribe is Winnipeg. I'm not on there. So, okay, so far you want me to fill out this form in the census, but I'm not even on there. These are the people you consider in America. But then you're already separating, telling us that American Indians and black people, which are African American and so forth, they're not the same.
Right.
That's a lie. And then you go on. You go down to, they even had the nerve to have, when the last time you ever heard somebody say that I'm a Mayan, an Aztec?
Haven't heard
But this is
Wow.
real.
That's amazing.
But when you go and do your census,
Yes.
you're going to see, you should be just as like, wait a minute, what is going on here? Okay, so they're still talking about the Mayans and the Aztecs in 2020. Okay? And all of this is designed to separate us. We're all the same people. All of us.
right.
Then you go
There you
back,
go.
then you talk about Asians, then you say other Asians. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is really crazy. Then they go down to Pakistan and You know, they got them in a separate group. So when you meet our fellow brothers and sisters in the street, this is why when you come across a person who can self-identify right now from an African country right now,
Yeah.
will look at you and say, African American, you're not part of Africa.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's why.
Right.
So it's not a we drop the ball. It's no way. This country is designed being, you know, the information, the education that they put out, which is wrong and incorrect. And
Right.
then all these people are running with this with pride, and that's why this works. And now there's a new thing on Facebook. I mean, I'm really shocked. It's like you have black people who dislike other black people.
Thank you.
And they're pushing this whole big thing. So you're not us, we're not you. And they're taking all of our same history and they're saying, no, well, we're this new reinvention. So it's like, okay, so what are you going to check? What box are you going to check? And if you say other, you're going to write that in there? Okay, but guess what they're going to do? It doesn't matter. If you write other, they're still going to tabulate how many people are black.
Right. Got it.
That's what, if you watch this, like your question with the election,
Right.
excellent question. What do you think about it? That's why Janet says it don't matter. Because when they say the black vote, then they'll say Latino. Notice something there. They have a question there that's very sneaky and deceptive. If you are Hispanic or whatever or not Hispanic, check that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You ever notice that?
Yes.
I did.
They want to make sure that you do not check that.
Right.
Don't check that you're not Hispanic, whatever. But then, wait a minute. I thought that, Puerto Rico, aren't they Americans?
Yes.
So why are we even questioned and asked not to check this box? So then when they talk about the election, this is what they do. So they go and say, so the black vote is over here, and then the Latino vote over here. And Bernie Sanders has the Latino vote, and Biden has the black vote, and then we have the student vote. You notice that? They don't say white people. Student vote, but that means white people.
Right. Okay.
College vote, that means white people. Because
Right.
we're already classed.
Right.
And then they'll say white vote. You know, so it's like we have to really pay attention to what's going on with this moment right now. So we're not considered.
You are so right.
We're not even really
my
considered
goodness.
what we want to be. We're not really Americans
Right.
because you have all these people who are in trouble right now.
Yeah.
They're shutting down everything. You can't go to this store. You can't do
Yeah.
that. Do this.
It's amazing.
You know. And they're going to give out money for certain companies to stay open. You know, and where the other people are, if you have disability, they have no plans for the disability to get anything. I thought they was Americans. What about my mom is like 80-something years old.
Right. Right.
What about if you're a caretaker of your parent, but they're still American?
Yes.
So then, if that money comes in that household, then if you're managing your parents' money, you can help them. That increases the money in the household.
Right,
But
right.
they know all that.
Right. 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 I
Wow.
hear you.
That's
We
what
are
this is
divided.
about.
We are definitely divided.
But in the end,
You know what you said, both of you, Van, one thing you said, they have been able to maintain the Negro as a minority, almost has disappeared off the planet, which is what we are, indigenous. However, every time they rename us, they break the numbers.
right.
Yeah.
The numbers are less.
Break this down.
Right. And the numbers are minority numbers or low numbers. We're all the same people because
Right.
we are the majority in America.
Yeah.
In the
That's right.
Americas.
True.
We are the majority.
We are.
If you know how many of us got Puerto Rican blood,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
island blood,
Oh,
Arab
yeah.
blood.
Right.
We're all as Van said, we're all the same people, but they keep breaking the numbers so that they can't count us as one people. Because then we'd have too much power.
Right.
And we're not taking our power.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring these facts out for our viewers and our listeners. You know, our Black Philadelphians.
Well, it comes to the question: how do we take the power?
What you say?
How do we take the power, man?
Well, this is how.
Do you think we should take?
Okay, this is how we take the power. By what we're doing right now. It's called media, black media. We must get the word out. Once we get the word out, we already have it. The black vote is the biggest vote. They're saying that now for the election. So if they already said it, we have it. It's just a matter now of getting the right understanding and say, oh, wait a minute, okay, this is what it is. So now when you explain to people, we are still today living since the times of the Civil War right now. If you have a conversation with anybody who's black, where there was slavery then, you'll hear people say, I would have did this, I would have did that, I would have did this, I wouldn't have went for that. But then, what are they doing right now? So every time something happens right now, what are they doing? You have your Uncle Tom, and you have your house such and such.
Yes.
The same people who said they would have did such and such then, no, you wouldn't. You would be doing the same dumb stuff that you're doing now. That's one.
Right.
So number two, let's look at religion. This is very important. America lies to you. So
All
they
participants are
make you
muted,
think
and they can unmute themselves.
this is really important. So what they do is they make you think that religion universally here in America is new, but it's not.
That's right.
Before the Civil War, I challenge anybody that's watching this show or listening.
Unmute.
I challenge you to come back, you know, and this will be great. It'll be a great debate for me since you're listening and viewing, you know, you'll catch it later. Just remember, this is Van Stone saying this. Tell me, name a religion that is a world-recognized religion that wasn't here during the Civil War or before. You can't. What's your major religion? Christian, Jewish, Muslim. Stop on Muslim. They try to make you believe that no Muslim was here in America. That's a lie.
That
You
is
have
a lie.
Muslims who were here already, but they don't let that go. Okay? Jehovah's Witness. They were here.
Yes.
They were here. Methodists.
Jehovah's Witnesses is supposed to be pretty new.
No, they're not. That's the point. No, listen to me. I'm telling you the facts. All religions who are world religions were here in America during the Civil War, up until the Civil War, during what I call the John Brown period. Okay? Now we have so many religions. Catholic. You can go on and on and on. You have the Sikh. That's the guys who wear the things on their head and stuff like that. You have from being a Buddhist to whatever. Every major world religion was here already in America. That's why on the census today, they ask all the people to check and mark where you are. Because most of us, we still have, whatever religion that you are loyal to.
Right.
So that's key. So if all the religions were here, then they'll get you by having you fighting one another based on religion. When the facts are, and this is going to make a lot of Christians angry, but I don't care, you're all the same religion. All religions have the basic concept. If you have the basic concept, you're the same. But you're just different in culture. It's religious culture.
Yes.
Okay? So they work you that way. So all the people, like they were talking about Trump and saying racism when you called it the Chinese virus. Some people came to the defense about that. Is that racist, Trump? You saying it's racist, Chinese virus? And you'd be surprised that there's so many African Americans, whatever, who they feel, well, Chinese people are not us, so that's whatever, And it's like, no, what are you talking about? Anytime someone fights anybody with racism, we need to be on that.
Yes.
But we don't.
It's not good for anyone.
Because guess what? There's a lot of black people who are African Americans who are racist too.
Of course. It's black on black.
Right. That's the point.
Light skin versus dark skin. Good hair versus bad.
Nonsense.
That's a whole nother topic.
Nonsense. So what we're dealing with right now, because at least some of us need to be made aware of why the situation is going on, why we're in trouble, why financially the groups of people, the money's going to go to certain people, is because of the same old. You know, during the Civil War and up until that time, the fake heroes, and I'm talking about black people. So Frederick Douglass, okay, I'm sorry to break your hearts. I really used to think Frederick Douglass was one of the greatest, you know, black history people. He was a fraud. Frederick Douglass was a fraud. He did not really care or make support for black people. But because he worked for the production of the other race, then he got the props in the books. That's how it go. So we all think, oh, Frederick Douglass was the man. You know, and then you have people still sitting up there telling great stories about him and so on. But then when you get the research and find out about Frederick Douglass, you're like, oh, my goodness, this guy was a complete fraud.
Wow.
You know, and where Harriet Tubman was the real deal, a woman, you know,
Yes.
they don't really want to bring out those individuals who really had the right direction in view. You know, that's why Harriet Tubman didn't like Frederick Douglass. Didn't like him at all. And if you find her writings, she stated that clearly, and this is why.
Wow.
Yeah, why would you? You living at that time, that's just like right now. You know what I'm saying? You see some person like Jesse Jackson, who sold us out. You know, who come up with this keep hope alive nonsense, and all that was he was trying to do his thing and use us. You know, so then the argument is with the African American concept, there's nothing wrong to be self-identified as an African American. There's nothing wrong with it. It is the individuals who took that, and then once he wasn't and the group wasn't successful, they just abandoned all the African Americans.
Wow.
Jan, are you still there? Are you?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. I was surprised. You didn't say
And you
anything.
know, I don't allow anyone to call me that. I've been in the company of others at a dinner or whatever, out at a gathering, a meeting, a gathering, and they'll use the term African American, and I'll say graciously and politely to please not call me that.
Yeah.
And don't make the assumption that all of us accept that when it's not true. Yeah, I don't do it. I don't roll with that.
Well, here.
None on my.
Well, here. Let me. We
Go
got it's 2:55, so we got 5 minutes left of the show. 4 minutes. Let me give you some other information. And like I said, we're going to be talking about this.
You did hit upon though.
Well, we're going to be talking about this each time, you know. But I think this is important. Wrapping this up in the 4 minutes. When it comes to this whole thing, you know, the whole African American thing. And that right now we have to support anyone who self-identifies African American. Even though we are all different cultures, tribes, clans, but because they're in the forefront, they're using African American in the forefront, then we got to back them. We got to support them. We've got to, you know, let it be known that we have their backs, but at the same time, we're also explaining the information of the frauds that's in between, you know, up in the mix. And that what they want you to do is just trust anybody. You know, they just want you to trust anybody that stand up, come forward, and supposedly say that they are for the change, the difference. But in the end, if the way we know this goes, if somebody is doing good and the bad that happens doesn't affect them, then they're the ones who are pushing you to
let me go here real fast.
Yes, go ahead.
There are the immigrant African Americans, those who came to this country and they became citizens. They are African American.
Yes.
And I want you to know that I found out that a lot of funding and a lot of things that we could get on our federal government IRS dollars to come back to us, they are getting that money as African Americans. I saw it.
Right.
I witnessed it. And I also witnessed city council people helping them to get that money. Some of them came here to America very wealthy. They have money.
Oh, yeah.
They buy their support. So we need to be careful about that.
Right, and that's the point.
Yeah.
But we have 2 minutes left.
Because
And
guess
again,
what? They recognize that. They recognize
yeah,
that.
but we have 2 minutes, so let me make this clear, and then, we can always join us, follow us at phillyfunkradio.com. You're here with Van Stone, Jerry Wilson, Antoinette, Dave and Anthony here, Janet Powell from Janet's house. We have Art Shaw and, of course, Warren Bloom. This has been a great show. Boy, for those who are watching and viewing it, I hope you enjoyed it. And, of course, it's phillyhotradio.com as well. So we have 3 stations. We're going to try to do our best to keep you abreast of what's going on. To clarify, in the end, African-American, we know who we are. The difference in those who come from different countries, we know that they're taking advantage of the situation and denying us. So right now, what we have to do is we have to really just get the information out and see what we can do to stay afloat as this thing will constantly change.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I guess we're going to wrap up the show.
Yes. Thank you, Warren.
Thank you, Van.
Alan, Janet.
It's good, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you guys
Everybody.
for calling in.
Everybody.
We really appreciate you.
All right, next time,
Hey, Janice, you're gold, Janice.
we're going.
All right. All right.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Guys, keep up the good work.